Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, we'll be tracking significant lake effect snowfall across interior Northeast, as well as a cold blast of temperatures across much of the northern and eastern United States going through this weekend. And then next week turns pretty interesting. We definitely have a major storm system potentially on the way across the eastern United States. We'll break that down for you in this video as well. So guys, if you guys have not known, we've been growing this channel for the last several weeks, several months here. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe button down below. We're up to 1,140 subscribers. Thanks to you guys. You guys are an amazing audience, so I definitely couldn't ask for anything more. You guys are awesome. So hit that subscribe button down below and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates. Also, like the video down below by giving it a thumbs up and leave any comments, questions, and concerns below at the end of the video as well. I'll always get to those later on. Looking here at the observations from the last 24 hours of the snowfall accumulation from the lake effect snowfall, been pretty prevalent with snowfall amounts over 8 inches, especially across portions just to the south of Buffalo, New York. Pretty impressive band setting up here over the last 12 to 24 hours, and actually seen some observations in western portions of New York of actually up to a foot of snow already and more, and that is actually going to be adding in a big way in the next couple of days, as we definitely have this snow band that's going to be setting up really near and south of the Buffalo, New York area. And it's really going to be that snow band that's going to be packing a punch with potentially historic snowfall accumulations as we go through the next, 48 to 72 hours. So let's walk you through these model forecasts. This is the HRRR, the shorter range weather forecast model that we like to look at here to get an accurate depiction of what the radar could look like moving forward. So this morning, we got that heavy band of snow setting up here over the Buffalo area, getting farther to the south and west here, right along Lake Erie. We got another potential significant snow band here just to the north. This is up in northern New York that could be setting up as well. But as we go into this afternoon, both of these snow bands, in particular the one near Buffalo, New York, is going to be continuing to drop snowfall accumulations of about 2 to up to 4 inches per hour. Definitely not out of the realm of possibility as we get into this afternoon. That will continue into the overnight hours as well. And again, both of these snow bands are really going to be packing a punch with historic levels of snow accumulation as we move through this weekend. And then by Saturday afternoon and especially Saturday evening, we'll start to slowly turn off the lake effect snow machine as we start to see a little bit more of some lift moving off to the north and east with this system as it pulls off here into portions of southeastern Canada. Looking at the event total snowfall accumulations here, fairly impressive. This is pretty impressive. We got 3 to 4 foot snowfall accumulations and really couldn't even rule out up to 5 foot snowfall accumulations near and just south of the Buffalo area here in New York. So definitely some historic levels. And again, that second snow band that I was talking about in northern New York up near the Clayton and Watertown areas, we could be adding up to about 2 to close to 3 feet of snowfall in that snow band as well. And that will be something we'll keep an eye on as we move through this event. Looking here at the overall winter storm impacts here, yeah, it's going to be pretty major and even extreme, especially up near the Buffalo area, up near Watertown. As we head through the day today, travel is highly, not recommended, because this is going to be causing whiteout conditions, visibility restrictions because of the blowing snow, and because of the snowfall rates over 2 inches per hour. So definitely stay off the roads around the Buffalo, New York area and near the Watertown and Clayton area here into northern portions of New York as well. We'll start to ease away at the overall impacts of the system as we head into your Saturday. Again, this will be a little bit more prevalent during the morning hours with more of those major impacts, and then starting to ease up as we head into the afternoon as some of these snow bands start to lessen up as we head into the afternoon and evening time frame. And even as we head into Sunday, can't rule out some minor to moderate impacts along the immediate Lake Erie shoreline there, getting even back farther into portions of northeastern Ohio, northwestern Pennsylvania as well, with some lingering snow shower potential there. But I did want to bring this up to you guys because this is actually pretty interesting to me, that the average annual snowfall accumulation for any year that we've had for the Buffalo area or even up toward Watertown, this is how much snowfall on average that Buffalo, New York sees here per year. And it's up around, 75 to near 100 inches of snowfall. And it's pretty interesting that we're going to see potentially up to 5 foot snowfall and with this just only one system. So this is pretty impressive here, how we'll have nearly 3/4 of our snowfall this year on average for a yearly basis for Buffalo already with just this one event. So that is something very impressive. But we do have the cold to talk about. Like I said, we have the cold air here this weekend that is going to be moving around here through the lower 48 and really much of southeastern Canada. We've been talking about this for the last several days, and that is still on track here for this weekend. We got this cold blob of air across portions of the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Ohio Valley that will be sticking around into tonight. That will start to move its way to the east and migrate eastward toward the northeast and even portions of Quebec and Ontario as we head into early next week here, especially Sunday, Monday time frame, with a little bit of some slightly above normal or at least near normal temperatures expected across the northern plains and portions of the upper Midwest as we get into early next week. Looking at your temperatures this afternoon, yeah, it's going to be a chilly one across much of the the lower 48. We got that freezing line all the way south into the lower Missouri Valley, getting all the way south into portions of the Texas Panhandle. Yeah, down near the Amarillo area, you'll be struggling to reach the freezing mark at 32 degrees. You get up here into the Chicago and Milwaukee lakefronts, you'll be into the upper 20s for highs this afternoon. And then up near the Twin Cities here into Minneapolis, St. Paul, you guys will be stuck in the mid to upper teens with wind chills that could be in the single digits to near zero all day long here on your Friday. And looking at your overnight lows, it doesn't get much better, guys. We at low temperatures dropping back below zero across much of the Intermountain West, the northern plains across portions of the Dakotas, Montana back into Wyoming, temperatures averaging from 0 to right around 10 below zero across those areas. And if you guys can imagine, yeah, we could have wind chills below 10 to even 20 below zero wind chills across these areas. And again, these temperatures will be dropping all the way down into the 20s as far south as the Gulf Coast. Yeah, all the way down toward the New Orleans area, Mobile, Alabama, and northwestern Florida Panhandle. We could be feeling these colder temperatures in the 20s as we head into this evening. Again, we'll see that cold air really start to make its impact across the upper Midwest as we head into your Saturday. Teens and 20s for highs again across those areas. And then again, as we head into Sunday, we'll start to ease up the cold a little bit across the northern U.S., still those 20s and 30s across the Northeast, the Great Lakes, and the northern plains. But we do have a little bit more of some return flow across the central and southern plains with some 40s and 50s starting to work its way northward across portions here of Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and especially into East Texas as well as we go into late this weekend. But looking at the longer range 6 to 10 day temperature outlook here from the Climate Prediction Center, it does favor below normal temperatures across much of the eastern and really northeastern United States as we go all the way through that November 27th timeframe. All the warmer than normal temperatures with that ridge will really be stuck across the western United States, really around the Pacific Northwest to California. That's where the strongest warming will be during this period. And again, maybe South Florida as well with some above normal temperatures all the way through that Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Looking here as well, we do have this potential for an interesting week next week. The Climate Prediction Center's new outlook does show the above normal precipitation across the eastern seaboard as we head through the November 27th timeframe. And again, a little bit of some precipitation above normal there up toward the Seattle and Portland area, moving over there towards the Montana and North Dakota area with some above normal precipitation. But again, with that ridge out west, we're going to see some drier than normal conditions across the Four Corners region back to California, with some of that drought starting to continue to worsen and expand, unfortunately, for some of these areas. So like I said, we got an interesting week next week here, and let's kind of break this down for you. We have that kind of northwest flow out of Canada into the Great Lakes and the Northeast here as we head into this weekend. That's bringing all that colder air down here with that polar vortex stretching event that continues this weekend. But as we go into early next week, we'll start to see a major pattern shift here across much of the lower 48, where we actually have more of the Pacific flow. We have more of a zonal flow from west to east across much of the United States. That's going to have that, activate a little bit more of the southern stream jet stream here across portions of Texas and the southeast here. Maybe some systems trying to get going early next week, but it's really late next week where we have to watch the models, and especially the European forecast model has been very consistent on showing a really tightly buckled jet stream here, not only across the northeastern Pacific, but also across the middle of the country here, dipping all the way down to the Gulf Coast and potentially even into portions of Texas as we head into late next week, the day after Thanksgiving. And this could set the stage for a major major storm system here as we get towards late next week and even next weekend as well, with the phasing of the jet streams here. So this is going to be the most important part about this setup, is that we'll have the polar jet to the north and the southern jet to the south phasing together to make this very deep trough across the middle of the country and potentially a major storm system. So let's show you what the latest model guidance is showing for this system. Again, there is a very big difference in the guidance that I did want to show to you. We actually have the European forecast guidance has a deeper trough, like I said, across the southern United States here, across the middle of the country. That is actually a deeper system, and a lot of times deeper storm systems actually tend to move slower. They're less progressive in nature, and they like to move slower. So that is something that the European forecast model is favoring. Now, if you turn this over to the GFS is a lot more progressive, and it actually doesn't dig that trough as far south as the European forecast model does, and it's more progressive. It already has this trough ejecting into the portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast as we head into late next week here on your Friday, November 25th timeframe. Now, looking here as well, just a little bit more internally into the GFS model, this is the GEFS. This is actually an ensemble to the GFS, and it's actually favoring more of the European solution with a deeper, slower, less progressive system. So this is pretty interesting here, and I wonder if the GFS in the next several runs going into next week will start to turn more to a less progressive and deeper system with the trough digging down into the southern United States. So that will be something to watch. But looking a little bit further into the GFS, the ensemble here, it actually shows a low pressure system developing just off the coast of Maryland here and New Jersey, and that would favor the northwestern side of a low pressure system to produce some moderate to heavy snowfall potential as we head towards late next week. The rain side would be offshore here across portions of the western Atlantic on this model. And then even furthermore, the EPS, this is the ensemble to the European forecast guidance, and you can see fairly similar, again, a deeper system, so it has a track a little bit farther to the south, but again, offshore of the Carolinas and Virginia, and again, favors that northwestern side for some heavier snowfall as we go into late next week, and also especially next weekend. So that will be something to watch, and just looking at the Climate Prediction Center's 8 to 14 day temperature probability and outlook here shows a a likelihood of lower temperatures across the Northeast here, below normal temperatures there, and then that ridge will start to move its way a little bit farther to the east toward the Central Plains into Nebraska, Kansas, and the Texas Panhandle as we head towards the opening days of December on December 1st. So that will be something to keep an eye on there. And again, as we move after Thanksgiving into the first day or so of December, we'll start to activate that those jet streams again to the north. That polar jet will start to become a little bit more active. Some more troughs starting to dig in across the Pacific Northwest, bringing more of the above normal precipitation across these areas from Washington down through Oregon, California, and Nevada as well, and then on up into the Intermountain West as we get into that time frame. And again, some below normal precipitation can be favored across much of the center of the country, down into Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and then across the Gulf Coast during that time frame as well. And we don't like to see the drier than normal conditions continuing across the southern plains because we actually do have a worsening drought as we speak. The drought doesn't go away in the wintertime. We still have a drought, and again, these deficits are growing across portions of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, and much of the western and central portions of the country. The newest drought monitor from the U.S. Drought Mitigation Center was released on November 15th of 2022 here, and yeah, you see the drought expanding across the United States. A lot of the eastern United States, not too much in the drought, but again, a lot of the middle of the country and off to the west. In these orange shaded colors, that's a moderate drought, and the red shaded colors, really more widespread across Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma, is actually an severe drought, an extreme drought, and then actually exceptional drought starting to develop more numerous across western Kansas, southwestern Nebraska, and across central California as well, even a little pocket down here into south central Texas. So that will be something to watch as we head through these next couple of weeks with the lack of precipitation. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely remember to like the video down below by giving it a thumbs up. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. And subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting that subscribe button down below and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates here on this channel. I have a great video coming out for you guys this weekend. Hope you like it. I will be updating you guys on the winter weather forecast here, what I see for December, January, and February sometime this weekend. So be on the lookout for that as well. Have a great Friday, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video.